cream rises and Joe Root has his finest day, certainly in Australia anyway. Joe Root was a cut above today. He rose to the top. He climbed the mountain, the impossible mountain that we thought may never happen. Unfortunately for Joe, he doesn't realise this doesn't count because the wrong kind of bowlers were bowling for Australia today. And you know what? He may finish on 135 red at the end of the day. A stunning innings, chanceless innings, faultless, pure, gorgeous, stable, wonderful innings. But these blokes let you win. They always give you a chance, these blokes. And whilst England fans will also be creaming themselves over Joe's performance, rightfully so, they give you a chance, and then Jofra Archer comes out and just smokes 32. And all of a sudden, it very much is England's day. That's how it feels, Pezza. I'm confused. They've got to a score, 325 at the end of the day for 9. I've had a good day, and we get a day 3.
Exactly. The novelty of a normal day of cricket, you know, 9 wickets, 300 and a bit runs, 4 and over, thereabouts, sometimes under, sometimes over. Root makes runs, he's the best batter. Yep. Starc takes poles, he's the best bowler. Yeah. England recover from a tough position. Doing a bit early, flattens out. Australia persisted and caught well. Some of the bowlers were good, some may be shit, some may be 2s, some may be 3s.
Some may never play again.
That's right. Airlines can't price gouge us anymore, on leaving on Saturday.
Yeah.
We might get a game that goes for 3 days plus, and I'm filthy.
Yeah.
And I'm filthy livid. On all. I'm more livid than Nathan Lyon. Well, that's I suppose could be impossible.
But probably was the highlight of the day. Nathan Lyon doing a press conference. I'm not sure who let that happen, but it did happen. He was on Channel 7 and he popped in. He said, "I'm filthy," and I think the nation can relate to that in certain times today. Because I was watching the game today, Pezza. I'm not sure if you were, but I was thinking, right about now would be a good time. That's obviously a Fatboy Slim lyric, but right about now would be a good time for Nathan Lyon to bowl. And when I'm watching Jofra Archer just peel off 32 of the easiest runs he's ever scored, perhaps at this level, I'm thinking, you know what? Nathan Lyon's probably bowling right then, and also he's probably bowled more overs in this innings had he not played than he would have ever in his career. Yeah. Half the overs, probably.
Oh, let's have it right. Anytime something didn't go precisely Australia's way, Nathan Lyon became a better player. Yeah. It's as simple as that. Yeah. 2 for 5. I don't give a fuck about Gary. Don't worry about that. Bales has got it right. There were some differences in opinion of older players before the game about the deck with the current players around the colour of it, etc. That could be a red-green colourblind thing. I don't know. Yep. But 2 for 5, I didn't give a fuck about Gary. Anytime after that, it was like, fuck, Nathan Lyon's good. And his pink ball record's especially good.
It's especially good, yeah.
So
Shane Warne took wickets here.
Yeah, I think it's a good day for Nathan Lyon. To be honest, we've got to understand that when you don't play and things don't go well, you start to look good. So I wouldn't be too upset if I was Gary.
Yes.
But look, in all seriousness, I thought we missed the feng shui of Nathan Lyon. I thought we missed the variety. I thought we missed the opportunity to change tempo. I think you're dicing with death, not going into an Australian game with a spinner. It upsets older people, rightly so. And I just think that given that Kratz Kratz must have some of the sorest shoulders and back going around at the moment, given he's carrying international 2s underneath, sometimes 3s. We just could have used 500-plus poles in our side as well. Yeah, wickets, that is.
Well, obviously the nation felt like, Hazelwood and Cummins out, not enough to sort of make this series interesting and hard. Yeah. Let's get rid of Gary as well. Let's get rid. All going pretty well.
Faithful.
All going pretty well. It's been a long day for some of the faithful.
Yeah.
Obviously you have to wait for the course of the game to unfold, but right at this very moment, the selectors have got that wrong. Like they've got it wrong because if you're going into a game with no frontline spinner, what you're saying is that this game is going to be over in 4 sessions, and quite clearly from the outset that was not going to be the case. Well, I'll say from the outset, the first maybe 7 balls of the innings, I was thinking this is a shit tip, and then it flattened out. So what do I know? But right at this moment, it feels like, geez, that's a mistake because of the selections that have been borne out. Doggett's had a tough day. Barreled bowled one good spell to Joe Root. I think he's been given some tap at the end there, but there's a lot of pressure on Nisa to score some runs. It feels like because his selection isn't necessarily about the ball. It's to lengthen the tail to shorten the tail, to lengthen the batting.
It's a bit of a Rob Peter to pay Paul selection. You know what I mean?
Right at this moment, it looks like maybe the worst decision under this current selection axis. I don't know. It's been one day.
What does Neeson need to make with the bat to justify it? 120? 130.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He starts fair way back.
What does Nisa make for GB to put his feet up on the balcony and start stroking his chin? You know, rodent stinker style.
Yeah.
Preferably in the tracksuit. You know, I think Nisa does need some runs. He looked at the unders today, or maybe Starc just looked good. We will come to Mitch Starc, but there was another selection situation as well. Josh Inglis came in, obviously confirmed, and a lot of people wanting Slug just for the vibe of it, and so a lot of questions around Australia around the size of Inglis's penis.
Yes,
that's another way of looking at cricket.
Yes.
Each to their own.
Yeah.
Each to their own.
A sleeper. A sleeper.
Yeah, it could be a sleep. Could be a sleeper cock.
Realise.
Could be a sleeper cock. So let's see. Now Joe Root. I think Joe Root is the conversation for today.
Yes,
he goes.
he is,
It was consummate. It was sumptuous. It was a beautiful wagon wheel. It was everything we come to expect from Joe Root. A calm amidst a storm. I mean, I felt like he was the only guy who got the hang of the deck. Now, I wrote that down before Jofra Archer came in. Jofra Archer, everyone was nervous about Jofra Archer in the last half hour of the day. Yeah. Not really with the bat.
But, under lights,
yeah, that's right. Like I think a lot of English people are like, can you get out now? He's nearly 40, right?
Yeah. And he's not out yet.
He's not out yet. But arched back from Root, whippage off the pads, down the ground. It's going to be a wonderful wagon wheel.
Yeah.
The curse is broken. The floodgates have opened. He's done the thing. All of Root's hundreds are just him ticking over, and I thought he especially ticked today.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
He's safe. England's safe. Doss is safe. We're all safe. Does this mean that England might achieve things that they haven't achieved here before? Probably not. It's just a good innings.
Yeah, against Brendan Dogshit. No, come on. That's.
But is it another breaching of the Gabba? How many times must this Gabba ground be breached?
Mate, they keep fucking around with when this game is going to be played. Like that, the game when Shamar Joseph did the thing, for the West Indies, that was the last Test match of the summer. When the pink ball Test match, of course, when the Gabba was breached by India, that was the last Test of the summer. It was too flat then. Stop fucking around with Brisbane, okay? Stop it. This is such an important cultural icon of Australian cricket, nay, society, okay? The coloured seats make you think it's a packed house, even when sometimes it is, like it was today, okay? What about the humidity? Sweating in places, just all sorts of places that it shouldn't be. That's all part of it. Balls flying through the chest.
Yep.
Alex Carey catching the ball with a brand new pink cake, fingers pointing up to the sky. I don't need it to be pink. I don't need it to be the second Test match. I need it to be the first, okay? Australia wins the first Test match here. Stop fucking around with Brisbane. Brisbane deserves better. Joe Root batted well.
He batted very well.
And sometimes when you're watching him, when you're watching pro athletes play, you see guys who are better than everyone else.
Yep.
He's better than everyone else.
Yep.
He has so much time, especially turning balls to the leg side. Unfortunately, everyone in this sport is riddled with, degrees of autism, and so unfortunately, whilst his record,
fortunately.
Whilst his record wasn't awful in Australia, he needed to do this thing so we can all say, at least he did it here.
Yep.
And look, if you have to score runs against your main rivals. The Ashes is the main rivalry, and he hadn't done the great thing yet, and now he's done it, so now we can all say, okay, does it count though, because it was against Boland and Doggett and Nisa. And Lyon's doing an interview beforehand saying, I'm filthy. Yeah. I'm confused.
He's come in at 2 for 5. He's finished the day, 130 red.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to say it is the most aesthetically pleasing Root innings, but it looked like a lot of Root innings. Is it the most important 100 he's scored?
Yeah.
I'll reserve the right to make meaning out of it after the fact. All right, I'm not going to predict it now, lest I be wrong. That's the worst thing you can do in society. The knives are out for you. You're getting DMs. It's no good, but I digress. It's become an oft-recited phrase in TGC, but fair fucks to Joe Root.
Fair fucks.
That's a fucking great knock at the Gabba, under lights, when his team was in trouble and needed him. He was the only guy that mastered the deck. Nobody can figure out if this deck is flat or there's something in it. Of course, this century mattered to him greatly. You could tell that he was under the pump mentally at different stages, particularly as he needed it. Boland was zeroing in for a while there, having a look at the pads. He did nick a couple just fell short. Steve Smith would have taken an absolute screamer to get rid of him early on, but he slips over, nearly going for a run. That's just that's just the obstacle he had to overcome. That just showed that it was a big mountain for him, but he did it. And, you know, they will wax lyrical, and rightly so, in England about what this means in terms of his greatness, because he's done the thing. He's scored the 100 in all of the places, and now all he has to do is take over Sachin, and heaps of people will like that.
I'll be here for that, I've got to be honest with you. And look, in the context of the game so far, what we've seen, England were 9 for 264 when Cass is out, and they've added 60. The time less relevant. I mean, they've added 20% of their runs in the last half an hour of play. That takes it to very much England's day. It's really hard when people are yelling out at you, isn't it? It is hard to concentrate. Anyway.
Imagine what it's like for players.
Nah, not for me. What about the podcasters? Anyway, so the 320, 330, whatever they're on now, makes it very much England's day. If they were out for 264, 270, whatever, you know, Australia have wrestled themselves back into the game.
You'd say honours even if it kept going the way that it was, right? England were losing wickets in clumps, but this late order partnership has put their noses in front, and that will happen when you score more runs without conceding wickets. It's just a little revelation I have about the game. Shall we talk about NordVPN first, Higgins, before we talk about Kratz?
Yes, we should. Now, if you need NordVPN in your life, then you're just a normal person in society. Now, you can go to nordvpn.com/TGC to get your subscription started today. You can change your location. You can get different shows on Netflix if that's what you want to do. If you're travelling and you want to watch the cricket, maybe you want to watch the highlights of Joe Root's innings, maybe you want to see him run out Ben Stokes. I'm just joking. Come on, we're all having a laugh here. Then you need NordVPN because then you can change your location and you're good to go. You know how VPNs work now. nordvpn.com/TGC to get your subscription started today, and you can keep yourself safe online, and that's what we're all needing in this life, safety, Pezza.
Yeah, you might want a private network to hide from all of the people sending you Spotify rap today. The coolest example of someone's personality. Mitch Starc, 6 for today. You reckon it's probably going to be 7?
Yeah.
And he stood head and shoulders above everybody else. Even just watching live, I'm sure it came across on TV as well. It was like, why can't we have 4 of these every single time we play?
Where are the others?
Exactly. But, you know, it's a funny thing. Maybe it's not funny, but being surrounded by people who lack the class of Mitch Starc allowed Mitch Starc a little moment in the sun. You were saying to me off air, he goes that he's the 5th ranked Test bowler in the world at the moment, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is a really good stat, I think, because you're surprised. You go, well, he's kind of higher than that, but because he operates in a cartel, and it must be called that, they share the wickets around so much, he doesn't really get a chance to shine. Right, which is also a charity in the UK. But so I'm sorry about that. That's very intrusive.
And different to Shine Lawyers.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Completely different operation.
So he's got the chance to carry the nation on his back, and he's done it twice in a row now.
Yeah.
He looked incredible. He gets all the flowers. I hope he wins all of the things. He's just been a sensational cricketer. He's coming to that point in his career, like all the greats do, where we actually get a chance to step back. We're not eulogising, but we're just saying, like, yeah, you have been great. And as Australians, we're not going to tell you that you're great for a really long time. Now that's a historical issue that we've got culturally. But now that he's you know, closer to the end than the beginning, and he's playing the best cricket of his life, you just think, we're so fucking grateful to have you, and I'm going to miss you dearly.
Yeah. Here are my notes, Pezza. This cunt is a freak. Put him in every Olympic event. So, you know, two opinions there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 16 poles in 3 innings. He goes past Wasim for Test wickets.
Yep.
His figures for his 4 last first overs, that makes sense. So in 4 last innings, first overs, is 6 for 5. That's what his figures are. Now, from the second test in the West Indies, which was in July, beginning of July, 6 of those guys in that team aren't playing in this test match. So there's obviously no Hazelwood, Cummins, Lyon was dropped today, Khawaja injured, Constas and Webster are the 6.
So half the team's changed.
So half the team has changed, and in the context of what we were expecting in terms of the drop-off therein, which might be coming, Mitchell Starc has absolutely put the nation on his back, and it is just incredible. It's not strike bowling anymore. It's full-on weaponry.
Yeah.
I mean, and you think about the athleticism with the caught and bowl of Crawley last game, but it's just I mean, if he's not keeping Australia in the game, he's winning him test matches.
Yeah.
And in the context of literally half the team being different to 2-3 test matches ago, absolutely extraordinary, and every single flower to him. But it's Joe Root's day. But but Kratz, fuck me, well played.
See, just a lazy six for right. I mean, he still had to be in heady slipstream after the last game as well.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
He gave us the opportunity to start the game by telling anyone who would listen, look, the way you've got to play in Brisbane is this. You know what I mean? The way Duckett was pushing at the ball there, Ollie Pope, etc. Before they got away. But just talk about England for a little bit after Starc gets his flowers. The question will be asked: did we see Bazball with brains? Was the scariest thing about today those moments when England actually tempered their stroke play, when they dropped below 4 and over, when they denied Australians the opportunity for wickets, where essentially we're just sitting there going, he's about to make a mistake, because that's what he does. You mentioned Starc earlier. He got 2 wickets in the first over of his spells today. The second was when Harry Brook was on 32 and deciding to strike at 170 when he came out and just tried to bazooka him through the covers. Went straight to Smith. But otherwise, I thought there were periods where England consolidated, and that allowed them the opportunity to push ahead later on. In particular, Stokes and Root just before tea and Starc and Boland had a head of steam up. Stokes just got them to tea. He looked kind of ordinary with the bat otherwise. But there was just a few moments where England ebbed and they flowed. They went through the gears, they went down the gears, they came back up. I also think while Will Jacks, they were part of partnerships as well. England, Will Jacks made, he got a start, but what that did as well was just take a little bit of steam out of Australia's engine, and then Jofra comes in and scores runs as well. So, I just thought England played well today. They did show that they learned, and we're now watching a fucking arm wrestle between two teams that may go into the 4th day. Lucky us.
Can I be honest? I think that this England side has always batted around Joe Root. I mean, he is still the leading run scorer in the Bazball era, etc., and he has played a magnificent innings today. And the rest of them have sort of chipped in, but do I think if any of them actually batted that well? Zach Crawley's finished 76, right? And I just find watching him so bizarre. The fucking drone. This is a very weird experience, by the way, because NASA and Athers are literally next to us, and I just said Mitchell Starc is a fucking freak of a thing. Anyway, and a cunt. Crawley is it's like walking on hot coals, and sometimes he slows down, he's going to burn his feet. Is that a good analogy? Probably not, but you know what I'm saying. It's like getting away with it for a bit. And Harry Brook is a fine player, but it's just an awful shot on 30, and the whole thing is schizophrenic and just chaotic. And, so Joe Root gets them in a position where they're ahead of the game, it feels like right now. But it's always very hard to figure out with this England side what's good and what's bad, or have they got a pass score, they just get there in a weird way.
Yeah. Shout out to Zach Crawley as well. I mean, he has a method. It looks like it could get out at any time, but even just watching him live, it's like he just stands like a baseballer, props forward and just tries to smack you through covers, and he just sees how many times he can do it before he gets out. And today he did it well. I mean, he's got a fucking incredible eye, Zach Crawley. We thought we were about to watch the innings that he's basically been picked for, for the last 4 years, before he just kind of nicks one innocuously.
Which again, a half-tracker
half-tracker of Nisa, which keeps him in the game. But
that's when Kerry wasn't up to the stumps, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Just in terms of other moments as well, Josh Inglis's run out was one stump to hit. That got a little bit of tamasha going for Australia, and then Alex Carey's catch coming back was one of the great catches of all time for me. And then Marnus decides to go with him, and he just wants to skydive with him for the entire thing, and then kind of makes out with him after he takes the catch. But
that was the hottest part. I thought, Boland actually did quite well today. He's got some tap at the end from Jofra, as I said, but after the Inglis run out of Stokes, he then bowls Jamie Smith through the gate. Felt like there was some momentum there, but Boland's bowled much better today than did in the first Test match, I thought. But those are a few thoughts from me.
Yeah, it was like Bazball. Bazball's a thing that Bazball giveth, Bazball taketh away. And it was giveth-ing a lot at the start. Please make a mistake, and it just didn't come as much as it used to. And as you said, they batted around Joe Root. I felt like what we saw from them today was more akin to a refined method that they're probably shooting for, and they've taken it away from Australia just at the end of the day's play. They're gonna come out breathing fire at the start of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Be very very interesting to see what goes on.
Well, I would say that if
you were
Joffrey,
talking.
if I was talking, which I'm not, or I had a platform at all, that if Joffrey gets out first ball when he pops on up the shoot, he might have been on some runs after
Yeah.
that. But if they go for 270, it's Australia's day.
Yeah.
So the last sort of half an hour skews it, but you know what? The last half an hour counts.
Well,
so that's a factor as
and
well.
it's just a good. It's a fucking good day's cricket.
Yes,
And so I
yes.
felt like Australia were only ever a partnership, like only ever 5 or 10 overs away from really losing England, and they stayed with it as well. You know, it's just fucking hard cricket. It's really good.
Well, tomorrow should be a good day to bat. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
I mean,
sorry.
tomorrow should be a good day to bat. There didn't seem like there's any demons in the wicket.
Yeah.
Really, day 2 should be the best day for batting. But you know what?
Well, you know,
I guess we'll see.
I guess we'll see. Hey, yeah, and yeah, that's us previewing tomorrow. But let's go hashtag AskTGC. You just get the hashtag in so we can find it.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's 2013.
Yes.
Farmer wants another man's wife. Says, is it the right type of 100 though? As we know, this test doesn't need a pink ball test.
Yeah, that's right. I tell you what, there was a lot of people that were complaining about how unfair the pink ball test is and how it's
Not
just
needed.
unfair. Is it actually not needed?
And there's only 1 point for a pink ball test, which is to get people in.
You speak to every single person in the outer today, as we did. We spent about half an hour with the Barmy Army, and every single person here absolutely loving it.
Yep.
A great day. We've had the best day of Test cricket of the series so far, of which there's been 3. So I wouldn't say it's a huge sample size,
Yes.
but. This is great. Now, if Australia lose a Test match, we should never play it again.
Yes.
Let's in the Caribbean, where cricket needs it, when we bowl them out for 27.
Steve Smith's Eye Black says, I'm now pro Pine Gap, thus to maintain Kratz's pink ball ICBMs. P.S. Slug where is? So a few thoughts there.
But I really feel for Bo Webster
Yeah.
because I think Nisa's selection, for instance, is not
We say
necessarily.
it's for batting. I mean,
Yeah,
you'd pick Slug if that was the case.
It's not necessarily over line, yeah. I mean, Webster could Webster have done a more economical job of the ball? Nisa's allowed to be nervous. He hasn't played a Test in a while. It's only his 3rd Test match, all of them pink ball Test matches, of course. But Slug has
Carry up to the stumps to Nisa is not a feng shui optic that I need on day 1 of an Ashes Test. I have to say, I know it's a plan, it's a method. They don't really care for these silly things that we talk about. That guys were walking at Nisa, so it's a way of keeping him in the crease practically. But it's an optic that I don't need. I'm just saying, I'm a man with liberties, and I'm taking them.
Absolutely.
I've got rights. I got freedom of speech. Charlie Simulated Crop Harvester says, fuck off, I don't want to talk about it. You Rat Dog says, when is this game ever good? Cam Green's Bucket Emporium says, what is George Bailey's address? Does the pink ball 100 count? Higgins is 4... No, I don't know what that means.
Okay.
So why didn't Stokes declare? Well, yeah, I don't know. It's scoring heaps of runs, I suppose.
Yeah.
Someone says, me sick, me want Cummings, me want Bushhorse, me want Gaz.
Yeah.
Can Kratz carry all of our hopes? I mean, it's like... Someone just says at the start of the day, it's like, yeah, look, pretty flat deck. It was a bit in it early. England's 9 for 320. You probably go, there's a day's play. There's a day's play. About 4 and over. Wickets at regular intervals. Joe Root 100, Kratz poles. Game of Test match cricket that goes for 5 days where things can change quickly. It's just that because the last time it was over in 2 days, we're like, well, what the fuck's this shit?
Yeah.
This isn't the last thing that happened. And none of us predicted this. And no one saw that Cummins playing was a Nisa smokescreen. So we're just completely discombobulated, even though it's probably the most normal day of Test cricket that we have seen between Australia and England in the last 4 years. Well done to everyone involved.
And you know what? We get a weekend of Test cricket, probably.
Yeah.
Come on. See you guys tomorrow.